Hi, this is Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and today is Monday, January the 23rd, and we're going to do our chart lesson for the day. I'm getting this out a little later than I would have liked. Apologize, I know I've been a little bit late on last week as well, but just a lot going on, so I'm getting these out as quick as I can. It just takes a little bit of time to create them and produce them and then get them uploaded. So if you haven't already, become a member. I think I'm not sure I understand it 100%. I'm not that familiar with YouTube other than what we've been doing lately is creating the videos and uploading them. But we do have the Pat's channel, and I believe, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that as long as you subscribe to the channel, anytime I send a video or upload a new video, you'll automatically get a notification. So that way, if it's late in the evening and I have to go before the video finishes uploading, as soon as it uploads and goes through the processing, I think you'll get an email and let you know that it's there. So the best thing I suggest is that when next time you go to one of the videos to watch one of the videos, just make sure you subscribe to the site, and that'll probably help you with finding out when the videos are there. But most of the time I'll send the link, but sometimes when it's late, I just don't have time to wait around on it to finish uploading. Sometimes it takes 30 minutes to upload the file, depending on how long it is. So anyway, just a suggestion there. I'm going to send the link whenever I'm here, but occasionally, like tonight, it's getting pretty late, and I don't know if I'll hang around to send you the link or not. So if you subscribe, I think that helps. And but anyway, let's get into the chart lesson. As you can see, here was our resistance area from Friday and pretty much Thursday as well, and that came back into play today. Here's where we opened today. Let me make this a little bigger, but I want to just show you how I had that line, and that's the support from Thursday and Friday. Pretty much that was support all day Friday, and it continued to hold today. The market, for the most part, is in an uptrend, even though it's chopping around a lot and getting these ranges. When it does tend to break out, it tends to go higher. So the support has been the best play really lately, of just buying these strong support areas, and that would have worked out well for you today. But let me back out of here and just kind of show you. This green area is where we were at the regular open today. The market opens at 8:30 my time. As you can see, that opened up right in here, and it was right in this trading range, this congestion, right at the high here with the resistance area holding. There was no reason to go short because there's no setup yet with all these overlapping bars. That's the danger of going short. As you see what happened if you went short here or here, you got trapped. And so once you see these overlapping bars, your best bet is just to sit tight. You could have gone long here, but even that was pretty dangerous. The reason that it probably would have been okay even out of this was we had a failed second entry. We also had a break of this trend line. Here's your trend line off the first couple of bars, and we had this break, but we always know that generally, and this was not. That's a pretty strong trend right there, so you figure we'll probably get a second leg. And let me show you this. This is really the only clues. This was a tough trading morning, but these were really the only clues. There's leg clues. I'm sorry. These are the only clues. There's leg one, and if you look at leg two, it was almost a perfect measured move. It wasn't nearly as strong on this leg as this leg was either, but this was in the overnight, and they tend to move it longer. So you only really had a couple of clues. You're coming off a strong support area, double bottom. You got a double bottom down here. You had this nice strong leg up that broke the resistance area up here, went a little bit higher, then a two-legged pullback, and hopefully you can see this. And generally when you get two legs in the middle of a bigger leg, that indicates you're going to have a second leg. And there's the first leg, then you got a little two-legged correction right there, and then there's your second leg. And they're not perfect measured moves, but they're close enough. And then we went into this trading range, and the only reason you could have gone long right here if you wanted was this failed second entry short. You had a new low, a pullback, a first entry short, then a second entry short that failed, and then it closed almost on its high up here, and this was right at the open. And that's generally what they do. They try to trap people. So you know, it was still risky going long right here, but if you saw all that, it wasn't a bad trade, and hopefully you did see that stuff. And if you didn't enter there, another clue before I get ahead of myself here is that because this is a two-legged pullback, you got a high here and a high here, so there's enough room to scalp out entering here before reaching this area, which you see it did hesitate here, but when it went through this area, it went right on through, and then you had your breakout pullback long, and so you could have gone long there too. And if you move your line up, you can see that was basically a double top across there. We had the breakout pull back long right here, and that was a perfect retest of this high. You see that right there where that touched right there, and then it turned higher. So you could have gone long right there as well. This one was more scary to me because we had the break of the trend line, and we pretty much had one leg pull back and a second leg. But if you were watching this leg over here, you should have been looking for something close to that length. And again, if we draw this arrow over here, there it is, and you put it to right here, I mean, that's basically, I believe that's a perfect measured move. And let's put the line. It is indeed a perfect measured move. You see that right there. And so that was really your only clues. Otherwise, it was, you know, kind of a tough morning because there was not a great setup right here at the open. There wasn't much of a pullback, so it was a pretty strong two-legged move here. And then suddenly the market reversed. It took a little bit of work, but then it just suddenly sold off all the way back down to test the support area again. And the best trading was really from this point forward down here, and then we had a couple of trades on the way back up, and I'll show you those. But if you entered in any of these, you read it right and you did good. And the main thing is just stay with the trend until it proves that it's changed. And there was no real proof. It looked like the trend was turning over here, but all this was a two-legged correction before we had the second leg after this move right here. Here's your first leg, pull back, which was a two-legged pullback, and then your other leg up. And if you look right here in the middle, there's one leg up, a little pullback, the second leg up. It really was almost three little legs up, but it's definitely a little two or three-legged move right there, and then a sell-off back down for your second leg that broke the trend line, and then we had a couple of legs up, and the thing rolled over. So, but getting this trend line, if you drew it off these first couple of bars here, you would have had it. If you drew it right here, even if you drew it like this right here, still should have kept you. That might have even kept you more on the right side, but in my opinion, it was off these first two swings like this right here, and this was the break, and then we went higher because, as you see, if you did draw it over here, it would have kept you in the trade all the same, and it might have even got you, made it more, given you more reason to go long right here, so to speak. But you see, there was, once we broke it, it just pretty much, that was into the trend. So I believe this was the proper trend right here with the break and the couple of legs up to a new high, and then the sell-off. And there was actually a clue up here. This was a double top. You had a failed break. So that was a trap right there with no pullbacks to the EMA from 8:30 to almost 9:30. So that was probably a good trade right there if you saw it and took it. I actually sold this double top blindly right here, and so I got in up here. So it was not as, you know, it wasn't as significant, because by the time this bar closed, as you can see, you were almost back down to the double bottom, and that's getting risky to enter right in there, but it still was okay because of this trap. It's much easier to see after the fact. I don't know if I would have went long or went short right here, selling blindly. When it ticked up and turned down, I actually entered right then. I put my order right there and got stopped in, knowing I had enough room to get out before down here, really expecting the pullback to come at least back to the EMA. And you see it did hesitate there, and we tried to go higher, and then we had our second swing. So you draw your trend line off off those two swings. Now, you don't know that this is the second swing until it proves itself, but since prices didn't go higher, and plus you can see this is a two-legged pullback to test this breakout area, and then it turned down. You couldn't go short here really, because by this time there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 overlapping bars. So you need a breakout pullback short, which was right here. And not only was that a breakout pullback short, but that retested the trend line and it held again before turning down. So you could have gone short here or here, and the best short was really here. And if you didn't go short there, when it pulled back and tested that trend line again, you definitely should have gone short right there. And then it was off to the races down. Then we had this two-legged pullback to the trend line and the EMA once again. You could have gone short. Really, this wasn't a good short here because this bar is kind of still bullish looking. But when we went higher here and then turned down, it was okay to go short below that bar right there or that bar right there because you're coming off the trend line. And you can see that was another great move. And either one of these, your runners survived. So, and if you got in up here, I mean, it was from about 1305 or 6. So it was about a 10-point move. If you got in up here, it was probably a 7 or 8-point move from right here. And then this was the obvious trade, the best trade well, it wasn't the best movement, but this was the best, easiest to spot pattern of the day, because this has been the support for all day Friday and then all during the overnight. And so when we got that bounce right there and this far away from the EMA, this far away from the trend line, you know you got a clean shot pretty much all the way back to there. Plenty of room to scalp out. So this was a great long right here. If you saw this little double bottom off this support area, and I figured we would get a better retest in this because this is a pretty good trend down, but prices didn't. They went higher, and if you drew your trend line again off the lower two bars, just like we did over here, you can see it tested it right there, and there was another great entry back up to the support area from yesterday, and it held again and turned prices right back down again. So it was really too late in the day to trade right here. But if this would have been earlier in the day, this would have been a great short because look at all these overlapping bars. Prices broke out, failed, tested this resistance area, turned down, had a nice bearish reversal type bar, and then you had but it was way too late in the day to be trading right here. This was close to 3 o'clock, and we've talked about that, and a lot of times that'll keep you out of bad trades. And the biggest thing about trading late in the day is if you do make a mistake, you don't have any time to make it up, and you're going to end up with a losing day. Where if you make a mistake over here early in the morning, well, you got all day to make it back or to try to make it up or wait for a great setup. But if you make a mistake after 1:30 or 2 in the afternoon, there's no time to make it up, and you're going to be in trouble. So anyway, hopefully this all made sense to you. Hopefully then maybe one day this week I'm going to try to get in some trade examples, take some more live trades and record them. I would do more of those, and I like doing those actually, but sometimes it just interferes with my trading, and I don't like to do anything that interferes with my trading. To be honest with you, I like to get done with my trading by 10:30 or 11 o'clock, definitely by lunchtime, and my goal is to be done by 10:30, 11 every day, Central Standard Time, and then I can concentrate on maybe taking some example trades in the afternoon. But I've just been real busy with some other things. We're still working on the algorithm that I've talked about. If you're not new to the group, you know what I'm talking about. If you're new to the group, you probably don't, but I'll send out more about it later. But we're working on an algorithm that we're having some real good results with it, and I'm excited about it. I'm excited for other traders, and eventually we're going to share that with people, but we're just not ready yet. We're still working out some bugs and working on the rules and how we're going to set it up and so forth. So, but that's been taking up a lot of my time lately, but I'll get to you on that later, but I'm going to wrap this up. We're into almost 15 minutes. This is Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.